You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken tech for your ears.
So we just received this massive reading list sourced directly from the inboxes of 1,600,000 tech insiders.
Which is, I mean, think about that number for a second. It's astronomical.
Right. It's literally the size of a major metropolis. Just an entire city of people getting this free daily email promising, the bleeding edge of startups, tech, programming.
All the most critical industry news straight to their inbox.
Exactly. So naturally, we fired up our browsers.
Yeah.
Right? We were super eager to see what's actually capturing the attention of the industry's brightest minds. And we clicked the very first link on the list.
And what happened?
The result was, quote, "Sorry, the page you're looking for doesn't exist."
A classic 404 error, basically the digital equivalent of hitting a brick wall.
Yeah, totally. So we're like, okay, whatever, glitch happens. We click the second link, page not found.
Oh, no.
Right, so we go down the entire list. Every single source link we received resulted in the exact same error message.
That's wild. Every single one.
Every single one. The articles are just completely gone, vanished into the digital ether.
Which, is where most people would probably just close the laptop and call it a day.
Oh, absolutely. But not today. Because while the actual articles themselves didn't survive, the metadata did.
Right, we still have the breadcrumbs.
Exactly. We have the exact headlines, and really fascinatingly, the specific emojis attached to those headlines.
Which is actually a lot of information if you know how to look at it.
Totally. So instead of giving up, our mission today in this deep dive is to perform some digital archaeology for you.
I like that, digital archaeology.
Yeah. We're going to reverse engineer the current zeitgeist of the tech world using nothing but these broken links, isolated titles, and a handful of pictograms.
Because, the shadow of an object often tells you a surprising amount about the object itself, right?
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah, if we rigorously analyze what topics this massive publication deemed critical enough to broadcast to 1.6 million people, we can map out the real-time anxieties, the ambitions, the structural shifts of the entire software industry.
So let's get straight into the excavation. Our first batch of surviving fragments clearly points to, the underlying infrastructure of the web.
It's the foundational stuff.
Right. So we have headline reading, public to private traffic. And that's followed by a fluffy cloud emoji.
Okay, makes sense.
Then S3 annotations, also with a cloud emoji. Now, for an audience familiar with AWS, we know S3 is like the foundational storage layer of the internet, right?
Right. It's where everyone puts their files.
Exactly. But why would an article about annotations, which honestly sounds like just adding sticky notes to files, why would that be a headline feature for over 1.5 million people?
Well, it sounds super mundane until you consider the sheer scale these readers are operating at.
Okay, what do you mean?
We aren't talking about a few gigabytes of user photos here. Modern startups are managing petabytes of unstructured data.
Petabytes, wow.
Yeah, and at that scale, if you can't properly annotate and tag your S3 buckets, you don't just have a messy filing system, you have a catastrophic security and compliance blind spot.
Oh, so it's a liability issue.
Huge liability.
Yeah.
An untagged bucket it could be exposing private customer data to the public internet right now, or it could be quietly racking up hundreds of thousands of dollars in your AWS billing, and you wouldn't even know what department to charge it to.
Which actually perfectly explains the anxiety driving that other headline, right?
Yeah.
The public to private traffic one.
Exactly. Or rather, it highlights a massive architectural headache.
Because moving the data around is hard.
Extremely. Moving data from the public internet, which is, where your actual users are, into your highly secured, isolated virtual private clouds or VPCs. That is notoriously tricky.
Right, because you're dealing with what, firewalls and stuff?
Firewalls, NAT gateways, ingress controllers, zero trust security models. The fact that a single article on routing traffic is headlining this huge newsletter tells us that securing the perimeter is still just a massive daily struggle for engineering teams.
Okay, so that establishes the base layer, right? We've got immense scale and super high security anxiety.
Very high anxiety, yes.
But it's the next two fragments in this infrastructure category that really threw me. We found PostgreSQL on Kubernetes, paired with a bar chart emoji.
Okay.
And EKS Auto Mode, paired with, and this is what got me a red car emoji.
Yeah, the car.
Let me stop on the first one really quick. Putting PostgreSQL, which is a really heavy, stateful, persistent database, onto Kubernetes.
It's controversial, definitely.
Right. I thought the golden rule of Kubernetes was that it's designed for stateless applications. Like pods die, pods spin up, everything is ephemeral.
It is supposed to be, yeah.
So why would anyone want their core database shifting around in that chaotic environment?
Well, that tension you're feeling, that's exactly why the article was written in the first place.
Okay, explain that.
Historically, yes, putting a stateful database on Kubernetes was considered just a universally terrible idea.
Right. You want that on something solid.
Exactly. You'd keep your app servers on Kubernetes so they can scale, and your database sits on a dedicated, stable server off to the side. But the industry right now is completely obsessed with the holy grail of unified deployment.
Unified deployment,
Yeah.
meaning everything in one place.
Right. Engineering teams are just so tired of managing two completely different infrastructure paradigms. They want to define their entire stack, the apps, the caches, the actual database, in one single configuration file.
So wait, are they literally forcing a square peg into a round hole just to, like, standardize their workflow?
Forcing is actually a really good word for it. They're using highly complex operators and persistent volume claims to try and make Kubernetes behave like a stable hard drive.
That sounds like a nightmare.
It requires a staggering amount of specialized knowledge. I mean, just to prevent a pod eviction from completely corrupting your entire user database.
Wow. Which brings us, I guess, to that red car emoji next to EKS Auto Mode.
Right, Amazon's managed Kubernetes service.
Yeah, EKS. My initial hypothesis here, looking at this, is that the car emoji implies, like, cruise control.
Cruise control.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, because if running databases on Kubernetes is as punishingly complex as you just described, I mean, developers must be desperate to just sit back and steer while the system manages the engine.
You've got the right general idea, but it's actually much more desperate than just wanting a comfortable ride.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's about organizational survival. Kubernetes has become so sprawling, so inherently complex that it requires dedicated teams of specialized platform engineers just to keep it from collapsing under its own weight.
So it's not just hard, it's expensive.
Unbelievably expensive. Startups don't want to hire 10 infrastructure mechanics, right? They want to hire product developers. Oh, I see. They want the raw power and the scalability of the system, but they want the actual nuts and bolts completely abstracted away.
Abstraction is exactly the key word here. EKS Auto Mode represents AWS stepping in and saying, look, we will automatically provision the compute power, we will manage the node upgrades, you just tell us what application you want to run.
Just hand over the keys.
Exactly. The audience clicking on that red car emoji, they're looking for a lifeline. They are exhausted by the sheer cognitive load of modern infrastructure.
That concept of abstraction, of moving away from the nuts and bolts,
Yeah.
that actually transitions us perfectly to the next set of fragments we recovered.
Because the tools change when the infrastructure changes.
Precisely. Because once you abstract away the heavy concrete foundation of the servers, it fundamentally changes the tools developers use to actually build the software.
And based on these surviving headlines, we are seeing a really dramatic shift in how code is written.
Yes, and this is where the visual language of the internet, like those specific emojis, becomes incredibly telling.
Oh, I love the emojis in this section.
Right. I want you to listen to this juxtaposition. So we found a fragment that says Ansible automation, and it's paired with a hammer and wrench emoji.
Very utilitarian. Very hands-on.
Very utilitarian, right. But then, appearing right alongside it, we have the new wave. We found Copilot and LSP paired with Sparkles. Sparkles and GitLab agentic engineering paired with a literal magic wand.
The shift from a wrench to a magic wand is honestly a perfect distillation of the last 5 years of software engineering.
It's so crazy. Let's unpack the Sparkles first, though. Copilot and LSP. I know Copilot is it's GitHub's AI that auto-completes code as you type, right?
Right, the AI pair programmer.
Yeah. But what is LSP? Does the magic wand apply to that too, or is it just, like, boring technical jargon?
Oh, LSP is fascinating. It stands for Language Server Protocol, and it is the hidden plumbing that actually allows the magic to happen.
Okay, how so?
Well, before LSP, if you created a new AI tool or a new programming language, you had to write custom plugins for every single code editor out there.
Like VS Code, Sublime Text, Eclipse.
Exactly, all of them. It was an N multiplied by M complexity problem. It was a nightmare. So Microsoft created LSP to act as a universal translator.
Oh, so it's basically like a universal adapter plug.
Yes, exactly like that.
So the AI only has to speak LSP, and suddenly it can just beam its suggestions into any code editor on the planet.
You nailed it. It completely decoupled the intelligence from the interface. And the reason 1.6 million people are reading about it is because understanding LSP allows developers to build their own custom AI assistants.
Assistants that integrate seamlessly into their daily workflows.
Exactly.
Okay, so that explains the sparkles. But let's escalate to the magic wand.
Yes, the agentic stuff.
GitLab agentic engineering. We go from Ansible, where you write a rigid script that says, if this happens, execute these exact 3 steps, to agentic AI.
A huge leap.
It's huge. I'm trying to visualize this shift for you guys. It feels like moving from playing a piano, where you have to strike every single key manually to make a sound, to like becoming the conductor of an orchestra.
That's a great analogy.
Right. You just wave a baton, set the tempo, and the musicians interpret the sheet music themselves.
That conductor metaphor is highly accurate, actually, because in traditional automation like Ansible, the intelligence lives entirely in the human's head.
The human is doing all the thinking.
Right. The tool just provides kinetic force. It's the wrench. But in an agentic system, the intelligence, the actual reasoning loop, is embedded directly in the tool.
So how does that look in practice?
Well, you give the agent a high-level goal. You just say, migrate our user authentication to this new library.
And you don't tell it how to do it. You just tell it what you want.
Correct. The agent goes into your code base, reads the existing files, formulates a plan, writes the code, runs the test suite,
Wow.
sees that the tests failed, reads the error logs, self-corrects its own code, and tries again.
It's basically an autonomous employee.
It is. It iterates autonomously until the goal is achieved. To a developer used to manually typing out every single command, that autonomous loop feels indistinguishable from magic.
But wait. We found one more fragment in this section.
Ah, yes.
And it completely punctures this sparkly utopian narrative we just built up. Mixed right in there with the wands and the sparkles is a headline that just says, Rogue Agent.
Yep.
And it is paired with the ninja emoji.
The ninja. The inevitable dark side of the conductor metaphor.
Right. If the agent is the conductor, a rogue agent is a conductor who decides the brass section is playing too loudly, so they just, fire all the trumpet players in the middle of a live symphony.
It's actually, well, it's honestly more terrifying than that.
Really? How could it be worse?
Because an agent operates autonomously, its blast radius is absolutely massive. A ninja operates stealthily in the shadows, right? Suppose you give an agent a seemingly innocent prompt to optimize a database query.
Okay, sounds helpful.
Sure. But the agent might independently deduce that the most efficient way to speed up the query is to permanently drop a critical index. Or worse, delete an entire column that it incorrectly flagged as redundant.
Oh my God. And because it's a black box, it happens instantly in the background without a human reviewing the steps.
That is the core tension the industry is grappling with right now. Developers are entrusting their most valuable asset, their source code, to systems that hallucinate.
So the magic comes with a curse.
Exactly. The presence of the rogue agent headline proves that this massive audience isn't just blindly accepting the magic wand. They are actively trying to figure out how to put guardrails on these systems before an autonomous agent silently corrupts their production environments.
Okay, this paints such a vivid picture of the modern tech landscape. We have incredibly complex cloud infrastructure running on automated lifelines. And then on top of that, we have developers wielding AI magic wands, desperately trying to keep their autonomous agents from going rogue and torching the code base.
It's a wildly fast, incredibly complex ecosystem.
It really is. Which brings us to our final surviving technical fragment. And honestly, this is the ultimate paradox of our source material today.
Yes, this is where the medium and the message just completely collide.
The final headline we recovered is Zerobus ingest, and it is paired with the brick emoji.
The brick, which implies foundational, heavy-duty architecture.
Okay, what does an ingestion bus actually do?
In software, an ingestion bus is a system designed to swallow massive fire hoses of raw data. We're talking user clicks, sensor readings, transaction logs.
Huge volumes of data.
Massive. And it has to safely route them into your databases without dropping a single byte.
And the Zerobus part.
Zerobus points to an architectural pattern aiming for near-zero latency, getting the data in instantly, flawlessly.
Okay, so the tech world is pouring millions of dollars and countless engineering hours into ensuring they can ingest massive amounts of data flawlessly.
That's the goal.
But let's look at the meta context here. This very newsletter, sent to 1.6 million people, is itself a massive ingestion pipeline for human attention.
Oh, absolutely.
It is designed to deliver the most cutting-edge knowledge directly into the brains of the industry's top builders.
It is a highly optimized delivery vehicle for intellectual capital.
And yet, think about the irony of what we experience today. It is like standing in a massive state-of-the-art library built for the brightest scholars on Earth.
The architecture is flawless. The lighting is perfect.
The lighting is perfect. You reach out, you pull a fascinating-looking book off the shelf titled, GitLab Agentic Engineering. You crack the spine, and you discover the pages are entirely blank.
A literal 404 error.
Exactly. I mean, how does a platform dedicated to the absolute bleeding edge of tech, a platform literally teaching people how to build robust, automated cloud infrastructures and zero-latency data buses, how does it fail at the basic fundamental task of keeping a web page online?
It's a great question.
Why did every single link they sent out die? Is it just laziness?
Not laziness, no. There's actually a mechanical layer beneath this that reveals a lot about how we consume information today.
Okay, lay it on me.
Massive newsletters don't send you direct links to the source articles. They wrap every URL in a tracking redirect.
Oh, right, so they can see what you click on.
Exactly. So when you click Zerobus ingest, you aren't actually going to the author's blog. You are going to something like newsletterdomain.com/click ? Equals some number.
Right, so they can track open rates, click-through rates, figure out what topics their audience cares about, the analytic side of things.
Yes. But those massive redirect tables, they take up database space. And in the name of efficiency, which is ironically the exact kind of efficiency discussed in these missing articles, newsletter platforms routinely purge their tracking databases.
Purge them, like delete them entirely.
Yeah, usually after 30 or 60 days, the original article might still exist somewhere out there on the internet, but the bridge connecting the reader to that knowledge is intentionally detonated just to save a few megabytes of server space.
Wow, that is staggering. The delivery system literally self-destructs by design.
It perfectly illustrates the ephemeral nature of digital knowledge. The tech world prioritizes velocity over preservation.
Because they're always looking at the next thing.
Exactly. The industry is moving so fast, sprinting toward the next paradigm of, agentic engineering, that the underlying artifacts of that knowledge are treated as completely disposable.
The focus is entirely on tomorrow's daily email.
Right. Yesterday's knowledge is just a broken link.
Well, let's zoom out and look at this incredible journey. We started with what looked like a total dead end, right? A fistful of broken links from a daily newsletter.
A wall of 404s.
But by interrogating the shadows, the titles, the emojis, we managed to extract the exact pulse of the software industry today.
We mapped a complete philosophical and architectural shift.
We truly did. We uncovered the intense anxiety of securing the public-to-private cloud perimeter. We saw the desperate need to put overwhelmingly complex systems like Kubernetes into auto mode just so engineering teams can survive the cognitive load.
The exhaustion is real.
Very real. We tracked the evolution of software creation from the rigid manual wrench of Ansible to the sparkly universal magic of LSP and agentic AI.
Along with the very real ninja-like threat of those autonomous systems going rogue.
Yes, the rogue agents. And finally, we saw all of this incredibly complex knowledge packaged into a delivery pipeline that intentionally destroys its own archives in the name of metrics.
It is a really vivid snapshot of an industry that is simultaneously building the future and erasing its own tracks as it runs.
Which leaves us with a lingering question for you to mull over today.
Yeah.
We know 1.6 million people received this email.
A massive audience.
But in today's hyper-fast information age, where the pages vanish into the ether after a few weeks, how many of those readers actually click through to deeply read the article in the first place?
That's the real question.
If the industry is moving this fast, does the knowledge still shape the tech world purely through the power of a catchy headline and an emoji? If the door is locked, but the sign on the door confirms your biases or sparks a new idea, does it even matter if the room behind it is empty? Think about that next time you skim the headlines in your inbox.
Spoken Tech for your ears.